Welcome back to On Rate Podcast. We have Elijah alongside Grant. Another Wednesday evening here. We are going to jump into college football this weekend, starting off with Michigan, headed down to Indiana, Bloomington, Indiana, I believe is where the Hoosiers are headquartered. I'm excited to see what we're going to do. I'm going to throw it to you just to see, your excitement level, what you expect from the game. And, I'm personally, I'll put this out there. I'm ready for them to kind of unleash and, shift another gear here.
That's it's funny you say that because that's literally all my talking points. Like that's around what it is for this week. And I think we was a little nervous last week. Got down there, got the job done. I mean, we've seen what's happened there in the past at Iowa. This week's gonna be a different story. Indiana, they're not really known for being, top dog or being really good in like football or anything. I think in the past they've had some solid teams, some solid records in the past few years, but I'm like you, man. I mean, I think, it's time to, let JJ kind of do a little bit more. I don't know if they're holding back because Cade's hurt. So they don't want to like run, the ball with him a lot, at least right now. But it'd be nice to throw some runs in there. I want them to unleash Donovan Edwards. I feel like he's just chomping at the bit and more for not even really with that, but more just from like a long game, like marathon standpoint. I mean, Blake Corum had 59 carries in the last 2 weeks. I'm not really trying to like see that from him. That's just something I think the game of football as a whole, it's just something that you don't really want to like really do to players anymore. Like that's just not really, it's not good on his body. So I just feel like I think this week will be a good like opportunity to really, unleash some players. Angelo Anthony, I think it's his time. They really need to find a way to get these guys involved. I know this isn't what their thought process is, but from my thought process, I'm sure you agree too, is like, I just want these guys to transfer if they not get the love that they should be, or like the playing time. Because I really do feel like we got a strong core that we need to start to work in, and not just because people deserve playing time. I think we can be even more electrifying and even like, even better on offense if we allow, some of these guys on offense to do what they are capable of.
Yeah, no. So I'm going to second a lot of the things you said. I think it is, the Cade situation is interesting because he's still out.
Yeah.
Our very reliable veteran quarterback that, it is great to have kind of in the tuck. We don't have that available. So that is a great point to make. But overall, I mean, I think, not to recap the last game, but JJ's playing very well. Quorum is obviously playing out of his mind. But I think it's maybe more time to, like you said, let JJ do more things, open that offense up even more. It's great that we can lean on Blake Corum to have anywhere around 30 carries, but it is not sustainable game in and game out. You should not have to do that in a game versus a game like Indiana,
And Donovan Edwards got that. He like that too. So he waiting.
100% agree. Yeah, work him in more. He's obviously, him and JJ seem to have a little bit of connection with him out of the backfield as a receiving back. So, just working him in, running the ball as well. But looking forward to this Indiana game. I think you can't expect Corum to have another 30 carries.
Yeah.
But hopefully you won't need that versus this team. This is
right.
I don't want to call them this, but kind of more of a bottom feeder Big Ten team, especially this season. So you go there, you take care of business. Hopefully that defense will continue to clamp down, and like you said, just hopefully the cream rises to the top as far as defensive goes, and the receivers. We have explosive players all around on offense, and I think we are looking for the right combination of them. Who should be in the slot when this guy's out there? Who should be the X or the Y or whatever the situation is? Eric Hall is out, so that's kind of messes up the whole tight end room there. But overall, I think we're rolling pretty good, and I look forward to kind of shifting gears in down in Indiana this time. Maybe even getting the starters out, hopefully not even them playing most of the fourth quarter, like having that clean of a game where we're bringing in the backup quarterback, Donovan Edwards, get business in the fourth quarter, and JJ and them are sitting on the sideline in the coat. That's kind of how it will go and how I think it should go if we're making the next logical step in this season, because we have to begin to hit on high calibers going to play Penn State here soon. Going to play State. They're probably not even playing for anybody else other than us right now. I'm sure they're not even practicing. They probably running Michigan plays right now in practice for the next month straight.
They're preparing for state. They got Ohio this week.
Yeah, no, they don't care about that. They 27-point underdog. So I think we have a couple of tests coming up, and it's time for us to show that we can turn it up a notch.
Yeah, I agree, man. I mean, I think, and I just dating back a couple of years, I just remember it was one time when Indiana came to play us, and they ended up being a little bit more later in the season. So we had Ohio the next week, I think, if I'm not mistaken. But the game has got to a point to where like we were winning, but we weren't winning how we should have been. In Indiana, I feel like I definitely remember them like kind of being a little more dirty and just being more aggressive, because that's what these. I ain't trying to dog them, but I think like this sometimes like when some of these like lower tier Big Ten teams, like I feel like they'll be like, well, we might not have the guys to compete, but we gonna just play Big Ten football and just be, be aggressive, tough nosed. And my biggest thing, like you already said it, is trying to make sure like, we don't have guys get in there, take care of business. We ain't got guys getting rolled up on third, fourth quarter because they're over there playing their asses off, trying to make it a 21-point game instead of a 28-point game, whatever it can look like, trying to make it look nicer for them from like a moral standpoint. Like I said, not disrespecting Indiana. It can definitely show up and beat us down on Friday or on Saturday, but just being realistic about what it could look like. And I also feel too, I mean, just with the defense, I mean, I think this team, Indiana, I think they throw the ball quite a bit. So I think it'd be just another opportunity for the defense to work on that rotation. The front four, tighten up. They didn't really cover tight ends very well. Ohio got this big country-fed dude that at tight end has been playing pretty well that I've noticed. So I think everything's just kind of like, dress rehearsal, not looking, too far ahead, past mistake or anything, but I just think there are things that we can do to help us going forward and then to help us, prepare, for those tougher matchups later in the year. So yeah.
No, I agree. I think if you need to know that you can put together entire games.
Right.
That's what's going to have to happen versus Ohio. That when we beat Ohio last year, we put together a complete game plan.
Yep.
We went down the field, we stopped them, downfield again. It was we knew what we were going to do, and we played a good, very clean game from beginning to end. So we need to put together, and we did that a couple of times last year. We need to put together a few of those this year to know that we can do it and know what a perfect Michigan team looks like versus a good team, not versus Hawaii, not versus UConn, but versus Indiana and Indiana, or versus Penn State, or versus somebody, Michigan State, whoever. I think you need to put together versus a team that's worth talking about, and from beginning to end. And I look at the squad, and I mean we have a lot of firing power. It really is, and I do think JJ is the man to kind of orchestrate it all and put together a clean game. I think he played much better this past week than he did versus Maryland. And we can look to stride in that direction again versus Indiana. And please hit a deep ball for just make sure make that happen.
This is the week,
so we can get
I think this is the
our
week.
confidence back as fans. We got to make that happen, and I think that'll get his confidence back. Just land another big one of them. We had another one that just was out of reach versus Iowa. And, that would have blew the top off the building, or away building. That would have took the air out of it. And I think, and that probably would have gave him a little more confidence to do that again. And I think that's what he is, the difference maker. And if a Ferrari can't go fast, what's the purpose of having one? Right. So I think you gotta. Yeah.
I'm just like, man, like we got all these other just bullets in the chamber just waiting. Like I mean, it's so crazy to think about, and I just think about like how far we've come as a team overall, just from like years ago. But like, we got a guy that went for 250 against Michigan State last year. That's not really even playing that much this year. So it's like, I'm just hoping that it's Roman Wilson. He might not be playing. I think he might have had a concussion last game. That's at least what I've heard.
Okay.
So this opportunity to kind of bring some other guys along, and I think just really start to like get this offense be a little more comfortable with each other, because we talked about before too, even with JJ, like didn't throw all during spring ball. There's not. I'm not gonna say chemistry is not the right word, but I'm blanking on the word I'm looking for. But just timing, like with the receivers, it's just not up to par as it may have been with Cade, just because he got a lot more of those reps in the spring. And so he's kind of, and we talked about it last week too, he's kind of just, you feel like JJ's just slowly, coming along, probably still, maybe overthinking here and there, just things are moving really fast. And you just hope that this week might be the week to where things like slow down. He can start to really see and just really start to like impose his will on the game. Like last week, it was kind of like game managing, chilling, not going to turn the ball over. Almost did. But like we really just, hanging, like he just really doing what he needs to do. So now it'll be nice to, have for him to be able to have a little bit of a like coming out party for himself, strong, Big Ten win on the road. Hopefully ruining somebody's Saturday. Because, just really just, I feel like he's just oozing with that talent. We're just waiting for it, at any given moment to come, to start to show itself.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And then just one last point I'll make just regarding the Michigan, but it's, I kind of just popped up or thought of this. So you talk about the timing issue and obviously not playing in spring ball or limited, not playing spring ball and then limited in the summer.
Sharing reps.
Yeah, just do the and sharing reps when he did play. Exactly.
Yep.
All of that, and you're doing it with 6-7 different receivers.
Yeah.
You're not even throwing to the same 2 or 3 guys.
Right.
You're coming off all of that limited playing, limited practice, splitting reps, and now you're not you're not throwing to the same guy always down the field. You got 5 different guys, 5 different strides, 5, it's so I could see how it could be a bit of a timing issue, like you said. It's a great way to put it, but I'm not sure if you want to, our famous score predictions here, but
yeah, I think the one last point I wanted to make was just shout out to the D line.
100%.
Yabioki, that's somebody I've been talking about quite a bit. What his impact could look like. I thought he might have been, 3rd, 4th string, just kind of having to work his way, but they were like, if he was top 5 in his class, you got to get him to the front of the line. And, he got the talent. They just looked in and, make sure he got the scheme down and just, the defense down and these things along those lines. I think Mike Morris probably got, I think there's like some good competition going on there. I'm sure, they got this guy come in mid-August, top 5 in his class, was at Bama and everything. I mean, Mike Morris was a lot more motivated just from like a pass rush standpoint last game than he did last couple games. I know he's probably getting more snaps and stuff too. That freshman Mason Graham been doing his thing, plugging up the middle with Mozzie. That's 700 pounds. Just that 3, like, you're going to double team one or the other. So it's really, you're going to have these one-on-one matchups on the outside. So my whole fear was just getting that consistent pass rush. And it wasn't even, it went for like a quarter. Like 3rd quarter was just gone, it felt like. And then 4th quarter kind of ramped it back up. So we just kind of need that consistently, throughout the year to just, continue to put pressure on these quarterbacks. That's what's really going to be our bread and butter. And that's, really how you stop teams nowadays, in my opinion, is just controlling that line of scrimmage, just having a great pass rush. So
I agree. And it might be a combination. We keep talking about who's going to be the guys. I really like that they look like they were each out there together.
I want to see like
that was a very dominating series.
Yeah.
The last series. So that might be more of the same of that. Combination might be our answer for this. So I think that was a great sign, and just for him
reassuring.
They both of them look like missiles.
Because at first it was like, do we have the guys? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, we got the guys. Like they just kind of, and Harbaugh just do stuff weird. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it's just kind of like he likes to do these like in-game like competition type, or like just rotate and just like, so I think one thing, and I'm kind of rambling today, but one thing was I kind of even noticed with like, this is on the offense side of the ball, but even with Eric All, like I remember seeing something about how Harbaugh was like, said like 6 tight ends might play this year. I'm like, dude, what are you talking about?
Right.
And then we didn't know, but I'm sure he was aware of that injury. So now you got like Schoonmaker looking great. You got this other tight end, I'm blanking on his name right now, number 82. I think it's like Bredinson or something like that.
And I mean, you're perfectly honest when you say Harbaugh just says crazy things, because Eric All is arguably the best tight end in Big Ten.
Yeah.
Splitting times with 5 other random dudes.
Right. So it's just like, what? But like even that, I mean, and then like going back to the D line though, it's just like, you were sitting at the game like, why are these guys going in and out like this? Like nobody's getting like a lather, nobody's getting like, a look.
Right.
So he's trying to figure out, who makes sense to kind of be them guys going forward. But then it's in the long term, everybody's going to get those reps here and there, so it's going to help us out. But it's good to know that, like, we got the guys that can actually do it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, can, be able to put pressure on the quarterback the way we need it to be. So.
Yeah, no, I mean, a lot to look forward to. Look, them young boys in the middle, that's the next up. We look forward to them for the next 3 or 4 years. So, no, I agree.
So, yeah, I think from a score prediction standpoint, I feel like, I showed you that little graphic of us just pretty much dominating in every statistic against, compared to Indiana. It'd be a tough one. You assume they're going to come out and be all crazy. Big Noon going to be there again. They might as well call Big Noon, Big Michigan Noon kickoff, Michigan Big House kickoff, something. But you imagine they're going to be pretty fired up. Might steal a touchdown, field goal. You know what I'm saying? 7-10 points first half. But I do think we'll kind of same thing as last week. Just kind of shut their water off on defense, and then we just impose our will on offense. And I just see us, bullying our way to I say like a 31-7 or 31-10 win.
Yeah, no, good deal. I guess I'm just gonna. This could be me drinking the Kool-Aid a little bit, or me hoping. I'm hoping they put it together. I'm hoping Blake, JJ, all of them, Ronnie Bell. Hope all of them are in hoodies and hoodies or coats. Come fourth quarter. I would say like I give it a little 45-13.
Okay.
Yeah.
Offensive explosion would be nice.
Yeah. 45-13, like you said, maybe, couple field goals, they sneak a touchdown in or something.
Right.
But overall, we have the game in our hand, and more importantly, hopefully like 35 of that is like, it's 35-7 or 35-6 rolling into the fourth quarter or something.
I'd love to see JJ 2-3 total touchdowns. Coleman, Edwards, get them one apiece.
Yep.
And just roll, like you say, third, fourth quarter, they chilling.
No, I agree. And, not to disrespect Indiana a little bit, but, they, like you said, they're going to try to put together a great game. It's more or less what it is. And that's, what I guess the Detroit Lions are going to try to do again this week, going into Foxborough. I'm personally, I know we said this beforehand, but I think it's time to, just be real honest and take the gloves off. For me personally, of how I feel about it.
Yeah.
And, so I guess I'll throw it over to you. We got the grittiest team in the NFL going to Foxborough. What I guess, what are your thoughts?
I don't know. To me, it's comical because I was fighting myself last week. Like, do I want to be optimistic? Like, we score 45 points, but we gave up 48. Like, how do you kind of look at these types of things? And I just feel like, I just heard a couple of things last week as far as like, just being an NFL team, you got to be able to like you can do one thing really, really well and maybe do one thing like kind of average. Like that's really, like, you can still kind of be a successful NFL team, but like the Lions have decided that they're going to be the best scoring team in the league and the worst defense in the league. And you just you can't do that. You got to be at least formidable in defense. I'm going to say it right now. I'm asking for Aaron Glen's head. You can't be, I'm watching this 2nd and 10, 2nd and 14, running man, blitz, trying to have the, he's trying to put all this pressure. Kind of reminds me of Don Brown, honestly, from Michigan. Just, trying to run a lot of man, doing a lot of blitzing. It don't take like a super casual
in
like
the house on like 3rd and 14.
Yeah, like the casual fan can sit here and be like, why are we blitzing all these people on like 3rd and long? Like so he's just doing things that I feel like are very like boneheaded, putting the defense in a bad spot. You're putting pressure on our offense. It hasn't changed. It ain't gonna change this week. We just getting lucky because we got a team that don't have a starting quarterback, really don't have a whole lot of weapons. Yeah, they might be running their 3rd string out there. If Hoyer, if he can't play, but I don't really know what my thoughts are as far as this game. I don't know how to feel. I just know that New England gonna make things hell. Like they always gonna find a way. We saw them with super depleted teams since Tom's left. They still found a way to be competitive. We just watched them go to Green Bay last week and went losing overtime. Made stuff hard for Aaron Rodgers, one of the best quarterbacks in the league. So I can only imagine what it might look like for Goff, finally playing a game outside, wind. There's a lot of factors that are coming into play that haven't been in play prior, and we still haven't been successful to start the season off. So, yeah.
No, I mean, I agree, and I think it's just being brutally honest. I'm not even sure where to start, but I'll say, we're on the road, playing one of the best head coaches of all time, great defensive mind. I don't think, we're obviously running the ball pretty well, and Goff's making timely throws, and things are, we are doing some things correct, but
right.
we also, I just believe that Goff will revert back to the standard deviation, the mean. He's going to revert back to what he is.
He's due for it.
He's due for it. He's due for a couple pick games. He's due for a fumble. He's due for, to kind of revert back to who he is. I hate to say that.
Yeah.
He has been playing very great, but very well, I should say. But I kind of look forward to that, and just blatantly getting outcoached by Belichick. Belichick, it's the time for them to kind of turn their season around too. This is kind of a make it or break it for them too. If they lose this one, the wheels can kind of fall off.
Yep.
As far as having a successful season or any type of playoff hopes. So, and they're looking at us as the Detroit Lions. They're looking at us as a team that they can go get this dub against. They know it. And Matt Patricia, regardless, obviously we do have a vendetta against him, but I think he's more or less probably doing what he's told from Belichick, as far as heavily influenced from them, and it seemed to work for him the first time around when he was there. I mean, who doesn't look great under Belichick?
Right.
We could probably be O&D coordinator for sure. So I look at it for what Belichick can do, and just certain things, like you said, the defense is out of line as far as playing unconventional football. Blitzing on 3rd and long. For some reason, we love him. Been rooting for him since he was 18, but for some reason, he can't seem to coach Hutchin and not running himself out of the play. And I'm sure Belichick's going to put together all type of trickery
coming right at him.
Yep, for Hutchin. I think he's about to have 20 sacks in the game. Meanwhile, he gave up 200 rushing yards from his side. I envision that coming up, and I just it's whether Aaron Glenn can coach or not. I don't think he's been put in the best spot, as far as I've said it's 100 times, and I'll say 100 more. We should have drafted defense. Defense. Dean should have been a Lion. Potentially Jordan Davis should have been a Lion. A couple other people.
Sign or Cine.
Yep. So I just think there was certain things that were no-brainers that we wouldn't have the 32nd ranked defense in the league right now. And whether he's good or not, currently speaking, we have the number 1 offense, and we're not using a receiver that we drafted. Yeah. So potentially we could be sitting at like at least break even or 3-1 if we had a couple of players in there, a couple more players. So
I agree.
Just to wrap everything up, I think Aaron Glenn, although he's been put in a bad spot, he's also making coaching blunders, but he's probably going to be the scapegoat in this situation, the sacrifice lamb. He's going to get cleared out, fired, and we'll see if that makes any correction or not on the defense. But he's going to get cleared out and fired, and then from there, wash our hands, and we'll think, oh, well, the Rams aren't doing that good. We have 2 high picks.
Right. I think the thing that kind of gets me even with that is we know the defense is depleted, and that's, conversation for a whole other day. I just don't understand how conversation for another day. But I just think even like he's not even putting the guys he has, because they got 2, 3, 4 guys on defense that are solid, you know what I'm saying? But he's not even putting them in good position to be successful. Running a lot of just man and blitz, just can't do that in today's league without a pass rush. Right. That's what's killing us. Hutch is trying, and he, I think more of him probably even kind of run like a madman is because he's the only guy. They don't have. Charles Harris is straight. We got some guys that are on the way. Hopefully, in the next few weeks, we can get back. But you got to just understand what your personnel looks like. And I'm not no coach, but everybody understand. Most people understand that running more zone is going to help a defense that's not as bad. Than you just can't straight run man in the league consistently the way he did on Sunday. Because it don't matter who it is. Like, we talk, obviously it wasn't Mahomes, but like these guys all get up and, they do what they do,
And
put the grind in.
Geno Smith is a gunslinger.
Yeah.
Motherfucker had like 700 yards and 8 touchdowns in the game at West Virginia.
He's
guaranteed he can hit the open receiver. That's
right.
one thing I know he can do. That's one.
We made him look like, and no offense to him, but he, what I'm saying, keep it what it was. He was sitting there, he was a backup the last like 8-9 years. Made him look like Pat Mahomes on Sunday. Like we look like and like no knock to him, but he literally
we made him look how Matt Flynn looked against us like 8 years ago when
pitch and catch 20. Yep. I mean, it was 26 to 31. Like they were running against air. That's what it looks like now. Like we got, and then I think one thing too, even like I'm rambling now, but one thing too, even like that Commanders game, Carson Wentz had 3 touchdowns and like 300 yards. Granted, it was in garbage time, but it's like get off the field. Yeah. Like you got to get off the field. These teams are 75% on third down against us. Something crazy right now. Probably worse than that. Like we literally will play, do fine first, second down, but like that's the important down is third down. Getting team off the field and getting your offense back on the field so we can start putting up some of these points, but not be like just completely behind, like 2 touchdowns going into the fourth because we can't stop nobody. So he'll probably end up being a scapegoat though.
Yeah, no, I mean, I do think there is some blame to go around, but I think kind of dealt a bad hand, and then you played the hand bad.
Right.
So
it sucks. We didn't prioritize nobody in free agency. I mean, obviously we're not going to get guys like Bobby Wagner and some of these other free agents, but like we re-signed Tracy Walker, and that was really the extent of it.
Right.
They showed
even try to throw a little bit of money, like
yeah. And it sucks because it's like
Honey Badger.
Yeah.
Wagner, like you said. I mean, even if we
be in the mix.
Bro, yeah. Great. We went and got Shirk.
Yeah, like it's
now, and truth be told, it did look like we needed some receivers then. But
right.
But yeah, I mean, we showed what we prioritized,
Right. Yeah, because that's why we can definitely move.
Maybe Ben Johnson was in the ear a little bit more than Aaron Glenn was, but it just
that's a good call. I mean, because I get it. Like Jameson Williams, probably gonna be a dog. Like I get the pick. Say this though, like we watch quarterbacks all the time take guys off the street and just still continue to be successful. Like I'm just not so crazy about getting like skill players that high. Right. And then you sacrifice multiple picks to get a skill player that high. Like now you're depleted in other areas. We're in a building stage where I feel like we still should have prioritized defense with those extra picks. And I just got the shiny new toy that's still in the garage until like mid-November.
100%. So we gave up 2 picks to get Jameson.
I think maybe 3.
3. Okay, so that's what I thought.
Yep.
I didn't want to miss. Okay, so 3 picks. That's 3 players. Should be, let's call it 2 starters. We gave up 2 starters to get a guy that's not playing. So my question is, will Jameson Williams even be as good as St. Brown, who was a 4th-round pick?
Yeah, time will tell.
That time will tell. But I'm saying, if he has to be the clear number 1.
Yeah, because St. Brown looked like
he has to be
Smith right
now. Justin Jefferson. He has to be Chase. He has to be Metcalf. He has to be in that breath in order for this to be worth it. Because St. Brown is one of the top 10 receivers, and we got him with the 160 pick. So, that's the bar. We that's what we were rooting. That's why we thought you were winning before, is because we were getting these diamonds in the rough. Mm-hmm. Now we're doing more of what has never worked before, and that's getting a fancy receiver.
Yeah, and I hope you hope that production gonna be there. Like I said, he obviously no training camp, not a whole lot of that going on, so it's gonna take a little while. But I mean, I'm seeing Olave 100 yards receiving, Garrett Wilson catching game-winning touchdowns, Drake London doing his thing. Like that, I agree with you. The production had better be there. Yeah, I mean, golf doing what he's doing, but I'm not even really trying to. I'm not a guy that questions whatever. I'm not, and it sounds more harsh than it is, but really, like, why ain't he back yet?
Yeah.
Not sure.
Like he tore it in first week of January. That's when the championship game is.
Yeah.
This is 10 months out. last year, my man for the Rams tore his shit in August and played in playoffs.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's a good call.
I'm just saying this is about the timeline where your ass should be back. I'm not trying to be rude, but just being 100. This is about the timeline where we should see some videos of you doing some shit in practice, or we should, we should see something that gives us some excitement. Or I'm beginning to think we ain't gonna see him. We're gonna bring him back when we 1-9 with a knee that he had a little tender on. That'll make sense.
And that's when he really at risk. That's when Curry and you put plays at risk like that.
I can't even think of. We got Nate Sudfeld passing to him when we 1-9 and risking that knee. No, we ain't gonna see him this year. So, it is what it is. I think it's I don't know. We cannot be happy. You cannot take this as Lions, as fans. This is
like I said,
it's a relationship at this point.
And it's funny because you and me both try to just talk ourselves into like, oh yeah, James Williams, solid pick. And I'm still just like, because you even hear like, other Lions fans, we know they love him. They think it's, amazing pick. They love the home run. But in my mind, I'm like, well, we just signed Sharp, got St. Brown last year. Like it's, when is the defense going to get that proper attention? Like that's where.
So let's look at the Eagles. The Eagles drafted 2, I personally think, going to be stud defense players.
Yeah.
Jordan Davis and Dean.
Yep.
And then they went and traded a 4th-round pick and got Brown at receiver.
Oh, they got a first round. They traded a first.
Oh, I thought he was less than that, but okay.
Yeah, they traded a first, and then I think first like a 4th-round pick.
But either way, you can get receivers.
You can do it, yeah.
You can get receivers for 2nd, 3rd, 4th round, proven 1,000-yard receiver guys year in and year out.
Yeah.
For close to nothing.
Right.
And I just think that's the world you have to live in. Proven guys for 4th-round picks.
So I think we were even on like the same page even too, because we talked about it. Like there was a point in time where I'm like, yeah, we might have to grab a receiver, and it sounded crazy. I didn't want him 1st round necessarily, but I'm like, okay, we got like, late, early 2nd round, like that'll probably be a good little, you know what I'm saying, like good spot to grab somebody.
4 picks in the top 40.
Yeah,
trade them off for one dude.
Right. So I'm like, okay, like let's get, another weapon just to kind of help on the offensive side. But it's, me and you both, it's been defense from jump. Just I don't know. I don't love just sitting here watching these track meets. Because the offense, that is what it is. That's whatever. Like every team can do that. But I want to be able to stop somebody and be able to impose our will on a team, like, from a defensive standpoint. Like right now we're losing pretty. Like that's it.
I just wanted to fact check because I was tripping, but like somebody like George Pickens was the 52nd pick.
Easy.
And we had 2 or 3 picks, 2 picks in the 40s.
Yeah. He catching one-handed passes.
Going to be a complete stud.
Yeah.
Yep.
Bullying. Yeah. he's
just that was off one Google search right there. So, I just look at it as, we got, I don't know. It's,
we never go to season.
Pull the fire alarms.
You ask me right now, they can kiss because those 7 wins, they already lost 2 of those 7 wins that, we thought they was going to get.
Yep.
Obviously, the schedule still favors us in a way, but it's only going harder from here. We already had 3 home games.
Yep.
We got to go to New York back to back. We got it. Like the schedule's just going it's going to start to
Green Bay
on us. Got half the offense is hurt.
Yep.
Like this is why it's just there's a lot going on there. So.
Agreed. Yeah, no, you got anything else on this regarding this? I know we got score predictions coming up.
I think we just do score predictions. I feel like for me, I'm probably it's still really interesting. That offense is crazy how they're getting up and down the field the way they are right now. Got to imagine defense from New England gonna be a little tougher. Belichick, they're gonna make golf. They're gonna make things a little difficult for him. I would say probably like I say we probably lose a tough one, maybe like 27-20 or something like that. We probably we're gonna do what we can. That's what we're known for, is coming back after getting our shit kicked in for 3 quarters. Come back, make it a game. So that's what I think it'll probably be.
Yeah, no. So one point I didn't bring up was I think even though they only have like the 22nd ranked defense, New England, they have two corners ranked in the top three of.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. I think it's like Jonathan Jones and Jack Jones, but
Yep.
I don't know. So that's kind of interesting. I do think I don't know. I think regardless, it's gonna be kind of an ugly game because they're on a second or third string quarterback, and just kind of that's kind of how not Harbaugh, Belichick wins games is winning out, just make it ugly. He might run the ball 57 times. He might have what I
Probably
mean?
will.
Three
Yeah.
passes. So but either way, I think it's we a kind of a lower scoring game. So I do kind of agree with you. I'm gonna go like 24-14.
Okay.
New England.
Because I'll even add too, their defense might be 22nd in the league, but they also played the Ravens, the Packers, and the Dolphins.
Yeah.
They play the Steelers too, but those are pretty high powered offenses that they were going up against. So
100%.
Yeah, I mean, you got to hope, it's going to be a tough game. It don't matter. It could be you or me at quarterback for the Patriots. I mean, they're going to find a way. We watched them we literally watched them dismantle teams with the bare minimum.
Right.
So I can't see it being any different on Sunday.
Yeah. And I think, I mean, I do think you just got to give him a little bit of respect, but Bill Belichick's probably sitting back, watching that defense, and he got something cooking. I think he's going to abuse that shit.
Drooling.
Yep. Depending on who's at quarterback, I mean, he did it last year, I think, with Mac Jones. I think he ran the ball 40 something. He only had 3 passes or something, or 6 passes
against the Bills. Yeah. It's going to come. It's coming.
You never know what he would do. That's the thing. You never know.
Right.
So with all that being said, I do think we'll probably, like I said, a 24-14 loss.
Yeah.
And then probably, we'll see if they let Aaron Glenn on the plane back. And yeah, that's about it.
That's where we're at, right? If you let this team and a potentially third string quarterback score 24 or more,
you got Dan Campbell that's on the sideline.
Yeah.
Yeah. Come on, man. Yeah.
But they bit kneecaps, so And that term, even when I think of biting kneecaps, that I basically why is that? That almost feels you're getting beat down to the point where that's your last resort. That's how I look at biting kneecaps.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
No,
I don't know.
That's what you.
I'll be a petty, but that's how I've always kind of looked at that term. But that's conversation for another day. So
sure.
What we're gonna do now is jump into a little bit of the Pistons preseason. We're gonna start working them in more. And I think this is I can probably speak for you, probably the team I'm most excited about from a Detroit standpoint. And yeah, they played the Knicks last night. I would say my first initial reaction was just feel like New York was playing a little bit more motivated than we were because it's preseason. I think young guys kind of thought that that energy was going to be similar on both ends, and it wasn't. It was fine. It's preseason. Love seeing Jaden Ivey do his thing. He had 16 points, a few assists. First shot was a 3, which I'm that was kind of his. It looked like he's comfortable hitting that type of shot in the game, which is great. Yeah, so I think we looking good, looking solid. It's preseason. I'm glad to see him back on the court. I want to see what your thoughts are as far as what you saw yesterday.
Yeah, so correct me if I'm wrong, but that Jaden Ivey 3 was him just walking up, making it
pull up,
just a day in the park.
Walk into it.
Yeah. So no, I agree. I think a couple of things. Just I would say, although the team, we had flashes where when we shot better than we did last year, that was our big Achilles heel last year, is we couldn't hit a 3 to save our life. So you've seen that we went and got additional pieces to make a more concerted effort at that. So that was very apparent. I think we got to work on the Cade Ivy backcourt, situation to a certain degree. I do think Cade may have been saying, hey, not the young boy, that's probably about the same age, but let him cook.
Yeah.
Let him cook for a minute, get comfortable. I got 80 games under my belt. So I think it might have been a little bit of that, but I'm interested to see that dynamic grow. And Jaden Ivey hitting that 3 was amazing. Can you name 5 players with a faster first step. I think he'll be hard to come across that list. His couple of those highlights I seen of him, his first step, other guy's hips wouldn't even turn. He was behind him. So
Yep.
I think it's those are, like we talked about, his highlights through the summer league. Those are going to transition regardless. He'll speed, him wanting to be a defensive player, all of that was very apparent. So I think a lot to look forward to. Duran, grabbed some rebounds, got active.
Yeah.
I think we have a lot to look forward to. It's like you said, I'm very excited about this team. Definitely the best direction we're headed in as far as organization within Detroit. So,
I think
I'm looking forward. I think we got the Pelicans and Zion and that whole crew on Friday night. So hopefully, like you said, they come up with a little bit more intensity to try to match that. Because you do gotta, if you're gonna have any hopes, you got to come out swinging. Every game with
I mean, when you're us, like honestly, like I think you probably agree, but like you could probably make an argument that they all should be playing like a decent amount of time, just regardless of being, because I mean that's what our team is. You got a whole bunch of guys between the age of like 20 and like 27 with like I think probably more like 20 to 24 with like 6 or 7 vets that kind of know their role. Bogdanovich probably be the one that gets the most run out of everybody. You have Burks and like Noel coming off the bench as well, Corey Joseph too, but I don't think it hurts to just have guys out there just playing. I know, I get it. You don't want guys, not be hurt right now. But let's be real. I mean, it's the NBA. Like, you'd be lucky to see 10 guys play all 82 at any given season. So I think it is important for them to continue to play more. I will say my thing, and I agree with you when it comes to like Cade and Jaden. He probably was deferring to Jaden, kind of help him get comfortable. But it'll be interesting to see how that works because they can both bring the ball up. But I think there does need to be kind of like something like who's doing it in crunch time? Who's doing it, with 2 minutes left before half, before the quarter ends? Like, who's starting off with the ball to kind of control things? Because I do feel like I personally would probably like to have Cade more at point guard and have Jaden kind of running, kind of like running and slashing. I think he's better at that than Cade is. I think Cade's better than him at ball handling and like, playing point guard, facilitating. So, but it's a good problem to have. I think Sadiq can, probably run a little point too. Got Killian, in the cut, just, another like ball handler. So we got this very unique versatility, but I think it is important to try to like stabilize it and just figure out like, who's going to be doing what's that going to look like? Because when you have, it's like free, and I mean, I know Casey going to do his thing, but, those sometimes like, those things can kind of, cause like a chemistry issue, I think too. But I think we address shooting, a lot. Yeah, I mean, I felt like we maybe could have used another shooter or two, but we got Bogdanovich and he can hit them at a high clip. And, we got some guys like Sadiq Bey, he'll be able to hit some livers. He was getting them off last night. So he ready to, they're already probably telling him like, you come out on the court, get them up, find ways to get open, just let it go. So it's, like I said, it's preseason, so it's not a big concern as far as, how bad the loss was or anything like that. But it was exciting just seeing them out, and I'm looking forward to watching a good amount of them this year.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think just to touch on the dynamic between the two, I think Cade is, at least what I believe he can be is like a Luka, like in that ilk where he's kind of does everything. He's a point guard, but he's really like a 3, but he can, whatever. I think he's kind of more like that. So I think Ivy, probably as the time goes, should kind of carve out more of a 3-point game, out more, like get used to more being the off guard. And then maybe from time to time when Cade is down, or Cade, hopefully not down, but Cade on the bench, he could step in and run that point guard in those spurring moments where he's kind of like, I think it's hard to explain, but he kind of steps in just when Cade takes a quick break or whatever. He could run that point guard, and maybe the offense runs a little differently under him, more of a gun type of deal or whatever the case is. I think it's a great problem to have. And I think these two guys will figure it out. The coach will figure it out.
Yeah.
I'm really not worried about anything. I think, we're going to be one of the more exciting teams in the league. The average player in the squad is, like you said, probably not even 24.
Yeah, I don't think Cade's 21 yet. I don't think Killian's 21 yet. I don't think Ivy's 21 yet. And Ivy, man, he's kind of looking like Ja out there in the Pistons. I mean, he's just so explosive, bro. Like,
Yes.
I saw him get the ball off the backboard and literally go coast to coast, little Euro finish, pass, a lot better than I thought he could. You know, I think he'll be best suited. Like you said, they're gonna figure it out. Not really concerned there. But I do feel like he'll be, best suited, just like going at that defense. Just because he's got some tools that people they're blessed with. So I feel like we can utilizing that, and I don't really even see a problem with him like really taking time to get sped up. I do want to ask you a question though. You got all these guys. You got like Bagley. He was number 2 overall, was starting for the Kings. Now he's like 7th man. I don't know. Like, what are your thoughts just from like a bench standpoint? Because I get like bringing Killian in, but I kind of would love more maybe like a scoring punch, or like having like maybe Bagley off the bench first, or like Burks off the bench first. You can obviously bring them in both in together, too. But I don't know. We'll see what your thoughts are when it comes to the bench and any trouble there.
I don't know. Assuming we roll with who we like started yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming that is more like the projected starters for the season. It's kind of tough. I think we got to see what Killian has. So he has to be on the floor. It is a make it or break it for him this year.
Sure.
We have to see at least till January or something. At least he has to get a good 25 games to realize this is his role or this ain't gonna work.
Looked aggressive yesterday.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I think that's his problem is every time we write him off, he shows flashes.
Yeah.
And it's so crazy, and you don't want to rush a guy that's like 21 years old, but it is.
That's the league now.
That's the league now, and all the guys that are 21 are putting up 20 a game. So it's one of those like you got to put it together now, or you might not have a spot on this roster here very long. And I think he's at that spot where other people would love to take a chance on him. So
right.
I think you have to have him out there give him a legitimate third of the season chance as the backup point guard or whatever that role is, to see if he has something. Outside of that, I think I like the Bagley and Cade dynamic last year. I like that a lot. So I kind of want to see them out there together. But I guess you could see having Bogdanovich out there because he's more of a stress to floor. So, but I think if you could maybe run a small ball and try to have both of them out there, we see how that would work. I'm not exactly sure how that would work, but if I think they want 2 shooters, so that'd be Bay and Bogdanovich out there. So that's kind of the problem. They probably want to have that another guy, and Bagley's not anywhere in that ilk as far as shooting. So he'll probably run more second unit, but I like them together a lot. I think, and I've said this 100 times, and it's cheesy at this point, but Bagley, I've seen more highlights from him in the 2 months he was in the Pistons jersey than I did in 2 or 3 years in Kings.
Facts, yeah.
He rejuvenated. So I want to see he has. And those are the 2 pieces I think you got to put out on the court.
Yeah.
Burks, he can shoot. He'll find his way. I think Burks, whether we use him and he's potential 6 man of the year type player, or we barely use him, he's a trade piece. People know he's solid. He's never had any issues.
Our team would love him.
Yeah, yep. A playoff type team would love him and would and that's a good trade piece. So I think somebody like him, you can kind of, if he played 28, 30 minutes a game, I wouldn't be shocked. And if he played 10 minutes a game, I wouldn't be shocked. And I think you kind of go either way with him is how you want to develop other players. But I personally think the biggest thing would be you got to see what Killian has. You got to see what Killian Hayes has for 25, 30 games. Go through the good and the bad with him and just really figure it out, because he could be special. And I think it's time to figure that out. And if we do have a third guy that just is a little lagging with that backcourt that I think we have, oh my God, that's a real issue.
I agree. I think so. I think the thing that I'm Bogdanovich, I just want to see how. First of all, I want to see how long he's going to be here.
Yep.
Because the only reason why he's here is because he was trying to trade him to the Lakers, all these other teams. He wanted like an extension and all this money, but they're like, no, we're good.
Yep.
I don't think we're going to be the ones to give him that either. I feel like it might have just been like we just need to get this dude out of here, like rebuild type thing from a Utah standpoint. But my mans don't play a lick of defense. This is why, I feel like Utah Jazz, the whole problem was they want to do all that damn shooting and not play no defense. My mans be getting, and this might be why they want to start Isaiah Stewart, from like rim protection standpoint, because my mans can't stay in front of nobody to save his life. Like, I saw it in the playoffs. It looked even worse yesterday. I mean, and now it's preseason. So, like, this guy's just choosing not to be a but, like, the shooting, we needed it. So I guess, like, I don't know, as a point I'm kind of trying to make is, obviously he's an NBA starter. We know that. But it kind of, I don't know, hopefully you don't put a wrench in things maybe a little bit, because I was kind of thinking it might have been, before we got him, it was probably going to be like K, Jaden, Sadiq, Bagley, and Stewart, and I don't know Bagley personally, neither of us do, but, like, you did kind of hear, like, Dad was like letting it be known, like, we don't want to be in Zach, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't know what, I'm probably wrong. I mean, these guys probably all love playing with each other, they'll probably be fine, but I'm just always curious. Like, people like to be starters. Some don't mind being six man, like, I know it's early and I'm kind of like probably overreacting, but, like, I just want to see how, like, roles going to be solidified.
Right. No, I agree. I don't think they're shocked that he don't play no defense. They definitely, they knew what they were signing up for when they traded him. So right. I think they're thinking I think we literally were 30th in the league in threes last year.
Yep.
I think so. They're like, hey, let's go get one of these knockdown shooters and see if we can get something for Cade. And if not, somebody would take him. He's right. He's a missing piece to a playoff team type of thing.
Let's go get the Lakers 26th and 27th 20 year right. Picks from 26 to 2027. Let's go grab them picks. Give them up easily.
We'll see how that goes. They might throw it out, but no, I agree with you in general. I mean, I knew he can't play no damn defense, but and generally speaking, you want to you build a championship team with defense. We all know.
He's a rental.
He's a rental, but I want to see if what we think is right. Surround Cade by shooters and let the rest work. I think that's what they're really doing is, hey, let's see if this shit works. Let's see what works around him. And we're getting good assets that will always be to move. I think Weaver knows what the hell he's doing. I feel very confident. It's just one of those, like, I think we're gonna be so exciting, but damn, can we please sneak in? Can we get that
right? Like, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I'm, obviously gonna be patient. My beard is on the line. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be pissed if we like 5-20 something. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hope that we can. Like
I said a long time ago, the point of being measured is we still need to be interested to think we're in the hunt.
Yes.
Come March, if we're at 11 seed, we in the hunt.
Take a push.
Yep. 15 seed, we gonna be pissed. You know what I mean? So it's one of them, like, we got to be still exciting. A couple of games back from in the play-in or in the play-in. Come March, that's the measurement to me where we're sitting around having conversations of, but damn, if we can get hot, or if so and so, I wish injuries, but if so and so gets injured, oh my God, that's our spot now. That's just is the way it is.
Give some punchers. And I think you got a puncher's chance. One game, win, you win. Lose, you done. Like, that's kind of the cool thing about that play-in, where I think we do have an outside shot at getting in. I just, Casey, we're gonna see what he can muster up, what he can figure out with these rotations and whatnot. Just make sure we're gonna be successful. So
no, 100%. And it is he can coach a year winner before, but I do think it was
beat Bron.
You said what?
So he just can't. He couldn't beat Bron, but that's.
Hey,
nobody could. That's all it was. Yeah, that's really
damn, I can't think. Who was it? DeRozan and
Lowry.
Lowry. They was woo.
He had them humming. Casey had them humming, but they.
No, I'm saying when they ran into LeBron, them motherfuckers was like combined.
They was in hell.
9 of 37.
He beat him in like every statistical category by himself. Like that was nuts. But
for sure. But no, you got a guy that can coach. It's just a matter of making it exciting. I think we got something to know. I'm so excited for Michigan, for the Pistons.
Michigan, too,
but
right, yeah.
No, for sure. You got anything else for the people, man? We'll be back.
That's all.
Sunday.
yeah, that's all I got. We'll be back Sunday. Recap Michigan and the Lions. We'll see y'all then.
Yes, sir. Peace.